Hey, look which one I got. Look what I got.
Here, Elizabeth, go choose a pretty color that you like.
Welcome to Watch Like a Kid,
a podcast where we watch your kid shows so you don't have to.
We are your hosts, Diane and Gabrielle.
So come, be a kid with us. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Watch Like a Kid. I'm Diane.
I'm Gabrielle.
And this is Oscars night.
So exciting.
Is that why we're all dressed up today?
That is. We are wearing our original, fashion designer house that you haven't heard of yet in New York City.
It's couture.
That's actually your mom's dress, is it not?
Yeah, I recently raided her closet and stole it, and it had these giant puffy sleeves.
Amazing.
It's like this, if you're listening and not watching, it's like this green corseted top with like kind of a flowy skirt dress part with it, but the sleeves had to go.
Yeah, it's too 80s.
I had to take it out and re-sew it. My sewing machine broke.
Oh no.
And I had to try to fix it and then redo it, but I'm really happy with the way it
I
came
love
out.
it.
Your
mom had some style.
She did. I feel so bad that she had children because she was so tiny. This barely. I can't lean back. I can't.
Yeah,
lean.
we're not just being, posh posture for the Oscars theme.
No. And yours, I love it.
Thank you. This was my maid of honor dress for my friend's wedding. Shout out to Birdie Gray. And I'm going to try and make it a wedding guest dress for my brother's wedding, which means I have to make it shorter because my brother's fiance's girls, her bridal party, they're all wearing Birdie Gray. And I'm like, I don't want to look like a bridesmaid.
No.
So I'm going to have to shorten it. And you're going to help me with that.
Yeah. For free.
Even though your sewing machine broke.
Well, I fixed it, so it's fine. For you, I would hand sew it.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. I love it. I think we should go out after this.
We should.
Come on, you have those moments where you do your makeup for the first time in forever,
Mm-hmm.
or you're just feeling yourself. You're in a little hot girl era, and you're like, I want to go out. Or I don't even know where the Oscars is held at. That's in LA, I assume.
I have no idea. Oh my goodness. Yeah. How do I not know that? I'm assuming it's LA. It's got to be California.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I don't watch it when it's happening. I just wait till the next day and watch all the clips.
Okay, the Grammys happened recently, and my dad called me, and he's like, you watching the Grammys? And I told this man 8,000 times, I don't have cable. I'm not watching. And he's like, what do you mean you're not watching? I'm like, I'll just catch up tomorrow. I'll look on YouTube and TikTok, and I'll figure out what, But he was just very adamant that I watched it live. So I had to stay on the phone with him while he explained everything that was going on with the Grammys. It was very adorable.
I kind of liked that idea.
It was kind of great. And then you had all your dad commentary, of course. So he was like, Miley, now let me know if this happened, because I didn't see this. Miley just dropped the microphone. He thinks Miley has a bit of an attitude problem, but I think Miley's great.
I think she's phenomenal. See, that was me. I love award seasons, how everything's so back to back to back.
Yeah.
That's what really inspired me to wear the green dress today, even though I have a green couch and I probably just look like an extension of my couch. They had the Brit Awards last month, and my favorite actress, my girl Gillian Anderson, X-Files, guys, I'm going to find a way to bring it up every episode. She was a surprise presenter, and she wore this gorgeous, velvety green dress, and I just wanted to be like her.
I just want to be sat at a table with Anna Sophia Robb and Gillian Anderson and Cole Sprouse.
Everyone that we do
Catherine Newton.
Every episode, and then somehow the animated versions.
Jeremy Zag.
Yeah. Oh, I was just thinking the animated versions of Ladybug and Cat Noir somehow come to life.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah, kind of like what is it? The Looney Tunes movie. The cartoons come to life.
And then we're like, you're still 14?
Yeah, I've got questions for them. But tonight is not a miraculous night.
No. Tonight, we are talking about the animated, nominated Oscar movies.
Yes. So there were 5 films nominated in the animation category. Our boy Jeremy Zag and Miraculous did not get nominated.
But he's nominated in our hearts.
In our hearts. In our hearts, you won, actually.
Yeah, in our hearts, you win every day.
Yeah. A couple of the films, we will admit, we were unable to find a stream, so we have not watched all 5. We've watched, 3?
3. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you've seen 3. I've only seen 2. So we have Spider-Man.
Yes.
Which you've seen.
Yes. Across the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse. I have not seen that, nor have I seen the first one. I watched Elemental, which you've
Yes.
seen. You didn't warn me of how absolutely cute it was.
I did not tell this woman that it was romance. She texted me like, why didn't you warn me?
Why am I crying right now? There is Nimona, which you and I watched together.
Yeah.
That was so cute.
It was very cute.
We'll discuss it more.
We'll discuss it more once we get there. Yeah.
In a minute. There's The Boy and the Heron,
Mhm.
Studio Ghibli film.
Yes.
And then the fifth one, which is more of like a foreign film as well, is Robot Dreams.
Yes.
Which I had never heard of.
I had never heard of it either.
Shall we get into sort of synopsis and,
Let's do it.
what we think of each nomination? Yeah. So we might as well start with Robot Dreams.
Okay.
Which sounds super cute. So I'm going to read just a little bit of a description of what it's about. Dog lives in Manhattan and he's tired of being alone. One day he decides to build himself a robot, a companion. Their friendship blossoms until they become inseparable to the rhythm of 80s NYC. Oh, that sounds so cool. I love it already. One summer night, Dog, with great sadness, is forced to abandon Robot at the beach. Will they ever meet again? Based on the popular graphic novel by the North American writer Sarah Veron. If we say your name wrong, we apologize greatly.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's Baron or Veron.
Let us know,
It is coming soon to Apple TV. Supposedly it is releasing in May of this year to stream in the US. So it is released, and I think it went to Cannes Festival last year. So it has already kind of premiered and aired and everything, obviously, since it's nominated. But like you said, just watching the trailer, it just seems so cute. But at the same time, I feel like they showed the whole movie in the trailer.
I know, that's why I'm kind of thinking there's like something we don't know.
Something we don't know.
I'm thinking...
I believe that it doesn't actually have any dialogue. It just goes with the 80s music. The next one, which is also not yet available to stream, is The Boy and the Heron. It is on pre-order on Apple TV. It's not available yet. Mahito, a young 12-year-old boy, struggles to settle in a new town after his mother's death. However, when a talking heron informs Mahito that his mother is still alive, he enters an abandoned tower in search of her, which takes him to another world. That sounds pretty cool. And it's a Studio Ghibli film. There is an English cast and a Japanese cast. And although I'm not quite familiar with all of the Japanese cast, the English cast goes hard.
Stacked.
They have Robert Pattinson, William Dafoe, Florence Pugh, I think even. Like, it is A-list. I think, I haven't even seen it, and I already believe that one is going to be the win.
Could be. It could be.
It could be. Have you seen any other Studio Ghibli films?
Okay, y'all. I want to apologize to the Studio Ghibli homies out there because I have seen, I think, 2 at this point. I did not grow up watching them, and so I'm wondering if I missed something. So the first Studio Ghibli movie, actually this might be the second one I see, is Howl's Moving Castle. And I go because they were doing it in the theaters, and so my friend was like, "You have to go." So I go, and if not for the tween girls squealing when Howl showed up on the screen, I would have thought he was a villain, like for real. And then the whole movie, he's just this moody, awful person.
Oh.
And I did not like him at all. But like everyone has, even when we did that animated crushes thing like earlier, a lot of people said Hal was their animated crush, and I was like, I don't know what I'm missing, but I just thought he was so whiny, and he was like all about his appearance. He was very vain. He like melted a lot.
Yeah.
I think literally made him melted once. So it wasn't like, I didn't really understand that one. And then I forget what the other one was called that I've seen. People tell me I still need to see Kiki's Delivery Service.
I've been told that too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give that, like, I'm gonna keep trying. I just like, I think that maybe it's just like I'm not used to like the type of storytelling or something, so I just don't like get it. But also, even when I was a kid, like animation was honestly difficult for me to latch onto. Even like cartoons and stuff were like hard for me. Like my friends would watch like Dexter's Laboratory, and I'd be like, what's happening? So
I need the live action now. For some reason, there's this magical component that I can't quite describe. So whenever I watch one of those films, I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah.
For like the pretty animation of it, and kind of like, I actually kind of like the fact that I have no idea what's really going on, or like the deeper point of the movie and everything. I definitely should watch them again. It's been years since I've watched any of them, and I feel like maybe now that I'm older, I can like focus on it more.
Yeah, maybe we should do Kiki's.
Oh, let's do the whole world
Yeah.
of Studio Ghibli films. If you think we should, or if you have a favorite.
Yeah, let us know your favorite, and also influence me on how. Try to get me to like how.
Yeah, give us the rundown, the summary of it. Do our job for us is what we're asking you to do.
Now we're moving on to the movies that we've seen that we're so excited to talk about. And if you haven't seen any of them or one of them, please watch them because they're really good.
They are available to stream currently, and you can watch it with your child tonight.
Mm-hmm. So the first one we're going to talk about is Elemental. It is available on Disney+. In a city where fire, water, land, and air residents live together, a fiery young woman and a go-with-the-flow guy discover something elemental, how much they actually have in common. You know what this reminds me of? That Aly and AJ song, Chemicals React. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The chemicals react. This whole movie is very, like, it's got a lot of tension, honestly.
It does.
Because they can't touch. Because it's water and fire. Water and fire fall in love and they can't touch. And so there's all this tension. And when they like have that scene where they like do finally touch, I literally thought of that song. It just came in my head.
I'm not gonna lie, I held my breath during that part.
It was really
without giving too much away. It gets intense.
It's steamy, literally.
Yeah, so that one is available on Disney Plus currently. I thought it was absolutely so adorable. It's basically you have the four elements like kind of living on an island together, and the main character is Ember.
Ember, such a cute name.
She's fire,
yes.
And then she has these like two old parents, and they have their own shop, and she has to take over the shop. It's like a very classical story. I found it to be very unique in and of itself. Still, like they really did a good job, and I absolutely love how the water guy, how he just cries all the time and he's very sensitive and emotional. I think it's so cute.
It's really good, and the world building is really fun because, you know, they have to think about all these ways that the elements can or cannot interact.
The boss of the water guy is wind.
Yeah.
And then I feel like they didn't show very much of Earth.
No,
like
Earth was just straight chilling.
Yeah,
Earth
there was like a little
there.
kid, but he was super cute. There was like a little kid. He looked like a troll or something. Yeah. He was Earth.
He's like flirting with everybody.
Yeah, he's trying to flirt with everybody by like showing them his muscles, and then like out of his armpits come like flowers as if he's growing hair. He's sprouting and he plucks it and it hurts.
So fun.
It's so cute. I thought the animation was really good. I don't know if it will win.
I don't think it'll win either, but it did surprise me.
Yes.
Because I remember when it came out, I don't remember hearing that much about it. And so I was like, oh, maybe it's not very good. But when I saw it, it was really, really well done.
I actually heard people say that they didn't enjoy it that much, that it was more of like a flop. So I didn't really watch it until now.
I don't know what they didn't like about it. I thought it was really good. I think there was like, I watched there's this thing on Disney Plus where it's like a little documentary where you can learn more about the creator of it. And he based it a lot on his life. So he's Korean and his family like owned a shop in New York. And he wanted to be an artist. He wanted to be an animator. Good job, you. Animated now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's very like similar. And then he fell in love with someone who wasn't Korean, and so that was a thing. So he did base a lot of it on his life, which was really cool. And it's definitely a story about like prejudice and like it's kind of this like forbidden romance thing because of that.
They have the main city, which fire doesn't really go to at all. They have their own little like borough of sorts.
Because fire like caused trouble in the past. And also, if you think about it, she falls in love with water, and water is like 70% of the earth or something. Yeah. And so water is like everywhere. And so she falls in love with the majority. And so he doesn't always understand what she's going through, and that's like kind of a problem in their relationship a lot. It's just really, it felt smart, it felt fresh.
It felt like the characters were very supportive, and I felt it had a nice twist. If it were to win an Oscar, it would definitely be for like the story and like you said, like the soundtrack and
music
everything.
Was good.
It was good. Even the animation was phenomenally done. I just don't know how it stacks up to some of the others.
Yes, it's really, really good, and I think it has that rewatchability, but when you're watching some of the other movies on the list, you're just like, So it's a close call, but I don't think Elemental will take it, but definitely watch it with your kid. There is some like adult jokes in there, but they're gonna go right over their head.
Yeah, they really don't notice it. But it would also be good for you to watch with your kid, because I think it's very sweet. But they can also watch it on their own.
All right, should we move on to Nimona?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So Nimona is on Netflix. A knight is framed for a crime he didn't commit, and the only person who can help him prove his innocence is Nimona, a shape-shifting teen who might also be a monster he's sworn to kill.
Dun dun dun.
Now, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, we
watched it together.
Yes, and we went in blind, fam.
Absolutely.
We didn't watch a trailer. We didn't read a synopsis. Nothing.
I don't even know where to begin. Where did we begin?
Okay, so the first 15 minutes, we were like, this is a bust of a movie.
We actually had to rewind the first minute or two a couple times.
We were like,
confused.
I think that something the movie does not do well, even though we're going to talk about so much the movie does well in a second, but something I think the movie does not do well is it just plops you into this world that's very confusing and with so many characters, and we just were not able to keep up.
The beginning of the story is like medieval times, and then it says 1,000 years later, and so like of course there's like flying cars and a lot of like digital updates and whatnot, but it still gives a medieval vibe. Like they have knights and they're wearing armor and like there's castles and everything. And so I'm like, is this in the future or still in the past?
I get that because everything comes back in style. And I also think it's like a genre thing. I don't watch this genre very often, but I think it might be a genre thing.
Maybe. It threw me for a loop. It took a while to get used to.
Yeah.
I will say the movie was giving kind of Shrek vibes at times.
Yeah.
I thought it was also kind of El Dorado type with the main guy. He kind of like gave that kind of vibe to me at first. He was adorable. Loved him.
He was very hot. Yeah, very, very.
Ballister.
Yes. Or Bal.
Bal. That's what they call him. Yes.
Add him to your new crush list. Yes. Animated crush list.
It's a progressive film. So they do have two male gay characters, and they're both knights. One is like the golden boy, and then there's the main character who was like a commoner who made it to knighthood. And normally you have to be of a bloodline to become a knight. Mayhem ensues that we won't spoil, and he becomes an outcast, more so than he already was.
Right.
And then who comes in?
Good old Nimona. Now, she's got to be some sort of tween, but we don't really know. She comes in, and she comes in hot, you guys. She comes in.
She finds him.
She finds him, and she's like, let me be your sidekick. We gonna be villains together. We gonna ruin everyone's lives. It's gonna be so much fun.
And he's like, I am innocent of the crimes people think I committed.
And she's like, I don't believe you.
She does come in way too strong, in my opinion. And also, it's like, how did she find him? Why did she find him? We don't learn her backstory until the very end.
Very, very end. But honestly, when we did start hearing that backstory, it really touched me. I almost cried. And for a movie where for the first half of it, I was like, I don't know about this movie. To get me to almost cry by the end of it.
Towards the end, I really wish they had given us at least little snippets of her backstory throughout, or given it to us all at once a little earlier on, because I think it would have made me connect with her a little more or understand what was going on. Like, why was she there? Who is she? Why does she care about this guy? Like, it's not like he's the only supposed villain in the world, you know? Right. Why did she latch onto him?
I mean, she says something in the movie about like, because people hate you too. Yeah. So I'm wondering if it's because of his like outcasted stance that's like really relevant and recent.
True. She was like most wanted.
Oh, he's vulnerable. Let me go in on this one.
So she is a monster.
Correct.
And they live in a city where they have these knights and they train everyone and they make the whole city feel like monsters are like the number one enemy. Right. They train people to kill them.
So our main guy, his job is to kill monsters. Yeah. So it's very sticky. There's a lot of like there's a lot of manipulation going on too, where it's like, you know, what actually happened, and then the boyfriend, he doesn't know what to believe.
The golden boy.
Yes, golden boy doesn't know what to believe, and there's just like a lot going on. It's very like power dynamics, relational dynamics, you know, who's the real monster, you know, another Prejudice movie.
I was about to say, I do feel like that it did showcase that very nicely. Anything that's different than you, even a little bit different, is a monster or doesn't belong or shouldn't be here. And they are in literally a walled city. Yeah. And her whole, Nimona's whole thing is like, what if there's nothing bad on the outside and you've just been trained like to believe that? Yeah. There's even a scene where there's a young child who sees Nimona and she's like a whale, a gorilla, a shark. She shapeshifts and all these things. she sees that she is freaking out the kid, so she changes back into like a little girl, and she's like, hey, everything's okay. And the kid gets scared and then picks up a weapon and says like, I'll kill the monsters.
Yeah.
And it kind of shows you how sometimes, you know, in the world, your belief system has to be broken down from what you've learned as a child.
Yeah.
And I thought they did that really well. I thought it was really cute.
And
while still having fun.
They came back to that also with like her backstory, the child thing. It's really good.
They have a montage that is the funniest thing where they're like, let's have a dance party, let's make some mayhem.
Very cute.
That's what made me kind of like give good Shrek vibes, because they had a good soundtrack going. Yeah. And she was like changed into a shark, and they're like dancing and bonding. They become like this nice dynamic. At first we thought it was a little odd that it was like a grown man and a teenage girl. Like being sidekicks, but like then he's like, oh, like I accept you, like I, you know, it took me a while to get used to like what you are, and she's just kind of starts to feel like she has a home now.
Yeah, it definitely turns into this like big brother vibe where he's like, it's like a homey feeling, like he's like home for her. And I think that by the end of the movie you really believe that their relationship that they've like developed, and it's just it's really, I think it's one of those movies that like the more you watch it, the more you get into it. Yeah,
and there were times that really like kind of hit you in the feels. There was one part where she's like, what I don't know what's worse is that everybody wants to like get me. Everyone is out to kill me, or the fact that sometimes I want to let them. And it really hits like kind of on some darker topics without being like too overbearing, like too much. Like your kids can still watch it. There are also some adult jokes every now and then that will go over their head. But it's funny for adults to watch too in that aspect.
It is good. I will say if your kid is easily scared, maybe not, because like I think the end scene is kind of scary.
Yes, yeah.
And sometimes she turns into a demon child. It's played for laughs, but it could be scary if your kid is sensitive to scariness.
This is where Gabby and I always differ, which is great.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious.
I was like, why does she keep doing that?
Gabby was like, I'm out. If she turns into like,
I don't like the demon child.
If her eyes turn into fire one more time, I'm out. You know, her voice goes deep and dark,
and her mouth grows like this big, like the honeycomb guy or something.
I thought it was hilarious. This one, I don't think it's Oscar worthy. The animation was nice, but at times I felt kind of like it wasn't a final draft. If that makes sense. The story, I feel like there were plot holes. Like I still have questions even after learning her backstory. Yeah. The way the ending is, the ending was hilarious, but at the same time, I'm like, it's kind of a cliffhanger.
Yeah. I kind of want a second one.
Now. I kind of want a second one, or like a series. That'd be great.
Honestly, I was actually thinking that this would be a really good miniseries. Yeah. Especially with all the night training and stuff, because we really didn't get to have that because we only have so much time.
Yeah. Overall, would recommend.
Definitely watch with your kids who aren't easily spooked.
Yeah, and it's good for all ages. Like I feel like even older kids would still find it funny.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
All right, friends, we are at the final and greatest movie of all time. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
After reuniting with Gwen Stacy, Brooklyn's full-time friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is catapulted across the multiverse, where he encounters a team of spider people charged with protecting its very existence. However, when the heroes clash on how to handle a new threat, Miles finds himself pitted against the other spiders. He must soon redefine what it means to be the hero so he can save the people he loves most.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Available on Netflix.
Okay, I am obsessed with this movie. Diane has not seen it.
For good reason, not because I don't want to. I need to clear the air. So, Spider-Man is actually my favorite out of all the Marvels, but I watched so many Marvel movies a while back that I've just been kind of burned out, and I have not been in a superhero mindset. Like I have not had the desire. I really want to watch Spider-Man. I haven't even seen the live action ones with Tom Holland yet. That's how far behind I am.
Ridiculous.
But every time I'm like, what do I want to watch when I'm at home? It is not a superhero movie. So I really just need to commit and watch it.
Okay. I'm going to try and influence you. Here we go. When you're on a roller coaster and all you think about is the roller coaster. That is exactly what it feels like when you watch the Spider-Verse movies. It's like all you can think about is what's in front of you. You're like not distracted. You're just there in it the whole time. It's adrenaline. It's a rush. It's so good.
Well, it is a quite complex storyline, right? Because they have different universes and different Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so
Phenomenal.
remember in that experience, you were just like, buckle up, you know? Like, that's kind of how you feel with these movies. And also the animation is stunning, and it's so creative what they do, and it's so fun, and it's so good. And I gotta tell y'all, I am not a superhero person. Like Diane, Spider-Man is my favorite, but I don't watch any other Marvel movies. My brother one time, he was like trying to get me to watch the Avengers, and I was like, bro, you'll know I only watch Spider-Man. He's like, Spider-Man's in it, trying to get me to watch it because I don't watch anything but Spider-Man. I'm not someone who's like up with the lore of like, you know, I'm not really a comic book person. I'm not really a superhero person. And I really love this. So I think even if you're not a superhero girly, I think you can hang.
Now, do you need to have seen the first Spider-Verse to see the second?
I would say you don't, because there are clips in the second movie where he goes through like, I'm Miles Morales. I was bit by a radioactive spider, and this is what happened, and this is what I've been doing
There's
since.
like recap?
There's recaps. There's like a couple recaps.
Okay.
So I think you're good to just go into the second film. The first one is also very good. I just don't think it's streaming anywhere right now. So I think you're good to go. It's so good. Miles is such a fun character. So like he's the perfect person to follow around this universe with. Canon events. If y'all like know the like joke about canon events, this movie. And it's just really good. And the animation, like I said, like it's so stunning. I read an article about how difficult it was though to work on the movie because there is so much that goes into this animation, and with things like this, if the story changes, you did all the animating for nothing, and you have to scrap it and redo it, and it's just so much. So, you know, I just want to say kudos to animators right now, because
everyone in this category,
seriously,
hats off.
Seriously,
honestly, I can't draw a stick figure.
So yeah, I really, really respect animators' work, because it's got to be so much work, and it's so
think
stunning.
That's what I will admit, when I saw the previews for the first movie when it came out, it wasn't my style of animation. Like, to me, I was like, oh, it looks like it came straight from the comic book, which is cool, but I was like, it still kind of feels like it's a storyboard look and feel. I had to kind of do a little more research and like kind of watch a little more to really be like, this is really ahead of its time. It's really amazing, cutting edge kind of animation to appreciate it. And I think that's kind of what made me not watch it when the first movie came out. And then I just felt kind of behind on the times. Yeah,
now you feel like you can't catch up. I do think the second movie, because it's not, if they have different animation styles in this one. So with Gwen Stacy, like
that does throw me for a loop sometimes. Yeah, I will admit.
Maybe it's like, I think if you like maybe do some research before so you can know what to expect, because Gwen's is very like watercolors and like her colors change with the emotions and stuff, so that's really cool. There's different, like obviously with the different spider people, they're like different from different time periods, and so those animations come into play. But if you see it as something that's like fun and playful, I think that would help, because it's just so cool to see all the animation styles merged together.
It does make sense to have it be different animation styles for different universes. So you can kind of keep track of who's comes from what animation. Right. That is kind of nice. I think I will have to give it another try. This is the one that you think is going to win.
I think this one's going to win. The last time it was in the category, it won. The first movie won the Oscar. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of animation, to be fair, but I just have not seen anything like it. Yeah. I know like Puss in Boots did something similar with the animation of like this. It's like frame rates, I think
they're different. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and people really enjoyed that.
I think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was similar.
Yeah. So I think we're getting like
a new age of animation, essentially. Like it really is paving the way for a whole different style, which is really.
But even
really
then,
nice.
like I saw Puss in Boots, and it still was not Spider. Like it's just something about these Spider-Verse movies. It's so brilliant. I can't even do. And also the soundtrack, brilliant soundtrack.
What would your ranking be for the 5 or even your top 3?
I'm gonna go Spider-Verse for 1, and I haven't seen it yet, but I think I'm gonna go The Boy and the Heron for 2. 3, I would pick, based on like just what I'm enjoying the most, I would pick Elemental. I really have a soft spot for it. Okay. I know not everyone liked it, but I really liked it. And so I think that would be my top 3. I would go Spider-Verse, Boy and the Heron, Elemental. Granted, I've not seen Robot Dreams. True. I'm also not seeing Boy and the Heron, but it's Studio Ghibli, so.
Okay, so we're kind of similar in that aspect. I think that The Boy and the Heron will take the win as my top 1. I don't have to see it to know that it's the greatest. It's gonna go down in history, essentially. Mostly when it first came out in theaters, it blew up. I was seeing it everywhere on the internet, and I just didn't have the chance to go see it. I think Spider-Verse will be a close runner-up. Maybe I think those two are just going to be neck and neck. Neck and neck.
We should do a poll and see what everyone thinks.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
Comment below which one you think will win the Oscars.
Yes. And I'm like you. I think Elemental would be a third runner-up. I really did like the way they animated the fire. And like the dad and the mom, how they were still able to have there was one scene where the three of them are hugging as a family.
Yeah.
And you can still see the individual, bodies, even though it's just like a lump of fire.
Yeah.
I do think the animation was really well done on there. I think those would be my top three. Nimona, I think only because I've seen it, would be a fourth. But the Robot Dreams one looked really cool.
Good. Yeah.
That I actually think, I haven't seen it, but I think maybe Nimona might be my fifth. And I haven't seen Robot Dreams, but based on the trailer.
She really liked that trailer, y'all.
The animation was really cute. Really well done.
But I'm also thinking of like being moved. And Nimona, I did almost cry. I mean, I think I actually cried legit in Elemental.
So we definitely have our three contenders.
I think
it's going to be really interesting.
I'm excited. Are y'all watching? Are you excited? Yeah. Is there a movie that you think should have been on the list?
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't?
We think Miraculous, the movie, should have been on the list. Do you have any predictions for any other categories? Or are you just excited to see how everyone's looking, if they can top our looks?
Can't top Mother from the 80s.
Can't top a vintage dress.
I actually really don't keep up with, every time you mention a celebrity's name, I'm like, who dat? I don't really keep up with what's going on. I do think there's that discourse, right, with the Barbie.
Oh, yeah. Margot Robbie and
all that stuff.
And Greta Gerwig.
And Greta,
Stumped.
yes. So
completely.
I don't know what's going to happen. I've not seen Oppenheimer, but I'm sure that's going to take stuff.
Yes, it's kind of been sweeping the awards so far.
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy has been getting it for Best Actor. Actually, he won for the SAG Awards recently, and Lily Gladstone won for the female, and so we're just hoping, I am hoping at least, and I think everyone else is hoping those are the two Oscar wins as well. We hope it's very good predictions for Best Actor, Best Actress.
Remind me of Lily Gladstone, what she's in.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Okay, my dad told me to watch that one. I don't have Apple TV. I don't know where he thinks I'm watching that, but
yes, I can't wait to see everything else she's in. But I guess other than that, we're just gonna have to kind of wait and see. How everything else goes. If you guys have any other predictions in any other category, let us know. We are really excited. I'm mostly going to be watching for like the glam. I love the red carpet looks. I love to see how everyone is kind of like on theme or how they look.
Diane, what are you talking about? You're going to be there.
We're both just going to show up even though we aren't in any Oscar-nominated films.
We're
on the list. After party? Let's go. Let us know. Let us know if you have a ticket. We're available. We're great conversation starters. We can talk about anything, obviously. So.
Honestly, we really can.
Yeah. I think we did pretty good for our first Oscar rundown.
I think
that was kind of fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
We should do more of those.
Yeah.
Next Oscars. Make it a yearly event.
Yeah. I wish I had a kids category.
Oh, that'd be great. Next Kids Choice Awards. That's what we have to be at. That's where it's at. Bye-bye our little Oscars. Little Oscar noms. We really need to find a more official sign-off than little butterflies, because that's miraculous.
Yeah, we need to decide if we're just gonna stick with that, even though it's miraculous.
Should we?
We're gonna
can you guys help us out and tell us? Do you guys want to be our little butterflies? Because we want you to be our little butterflies. Fly away now.
Bye.
We have hot girl things to do.
In words of Oscar the Grouch, scrap.
That's not a unicorn. That's just a pony with pink hair.